Prime-time local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. The Alberta Skills Competition moved virtually this year with 2 Holy Rosary students finishing in the top 5 out of 27 students across Alberta. I had the chance to chat with them about their winning projects. Well, I'm joined with 2 Holy Rosary High School students, Mackenzie DiCrescenzo and Sierra Bennett, who placed top 5 in the virtual skills competition for Alberta this year. So both of you, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Sierra, I'm going to start with you. I want to get a little bit of background on what the skills competition was like this year as it was done virtually.
So what happened was the person who is in charge of skills, she emailed us and she was saying, hey, sorry to inform you that the provincial competition is canceled, but we're having a virtual competition that you can register in down below. So our communications media teacher, Miss Ferguson, went and signed us both up right away for it. And from there, we got an email saying all of the information and giving us the scope and everything. And it told us that we had 2 weeks to work on a video project, and we submit it by May 15th. And then judging will be on May 29th. And that's kind of how it all played out.
Now, Mackenzie, you, of course, you did win gold, so congratulations on that. What was the inspiration for your video? I did happen to watch it. It's a fun kind of song that you created as well, and also used multiple versions of yourself, which was really unique. So take us through that creative process.
Yeah, so when I was thinking of what to do for my video, I noticed that everything seems sort of gloomy right now with isolation. So I really wanted it to be an upbeat video that kept the viewer's attention the whole time. So that's where writing a song came in. I want it to be upbeat and catchy, and I wanted it to get stuck in your head. So every time you were feeling down, you could maybe think of my music video and just remember that things are going to get better. And I also thought that since I was filming alone and I had no one to film for me, it was just me and my tripod, I thought of the idea of cloning myself. So there'd be more than one of me, so I could actually interact with other people on screen.
Now, Sierra, you, of course, used your family in this video. Yours is more of a kind of look back piece. You know, you have a character that's kind of looking into the future of what COVID was like. So take us through the inspiration for that video.
So with this video, from the beginning, I knew that I wanted to do something that showcased all of COVID, because this whole event is something for the history books. It's something that we're going to look back on in 100 years. And it's just going to be crazy to think oh wow, that's what the world was like. So I just wanted to showcase something like that, but in a positive way. Everyone says that self-quarantine and everything sucks, and it isn't the best thing, but there are a lot of benefits to it. For example, I've seen my family more during self-quarantine than I ever had before, and I'm really, really thankful for that. And I just wanted something that I can look back on and be like, wow, this is how the world was. So that's kind of my inspiration for it.
Now, take us through the day that you found out results of the competition.
Well, when I found out, the whole day I was just so stressed, so worried I couldn't focus on anything else. And when I finally got to the moment where I saw my name on the screen for gold, I was so shocked. I couldn't speak. I didn't even know what to do or what to say. I just stood there. It was an amazing feeling.
I found out my results the day after when my teacher, Miss Ferguson, texted me, and I was very, very proud of myself. I was it was just such a surreal feeling to feel wow, top 5 in the province. That's crazy. And when Mackenzie got gold, we were watching the live stream from my couch, and I jumped up and started clapping so loud. I was so proud of her.
And just lastly, before we wrap things up here, you both mentioned Miss Ferguson a lot, your teacher that helped you get to where you are in this point. How much of an inspiration was she for both of you in just doing these types of projects?
Oh, so much of an inspiration. She's
Yeah.
really the one who pushed me to keep going and always believed in all my ideas. I owe a lot to her for where I am now.
Yeah, she's been a huge inspiration, and she's always supported us, and she's just the best teacher. She's so nice, and she's so supportive, and whenever we need help or something, she's there to help us. And yeah, she's amazing.
Well, I appreciate both of your time today, and congratulations on the success that you both had at the virtual skills competition. I hope everyone gets a chance to check out the videos that you made. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
A group of people around Lloydminster has been giving back to the community in the form of food donations to families that have been struggling during the pandemic. Jasmine King spoke with the founder on where this idea started.
I'm joined here with Jennifer Amajud, and she is the founder of the You've Been Loved group on Facebook here in Lloydminster. And now this group has been going around and donating to people who are in need. Where did this idea come from?
With all the negative going on in the world, and I just wanted to create something positive. We can't change things at a government level or a federal level, but we can change things in our community. So when I saw the wine ninjas going around, I thought, let's step up the game and help people who are hungry. And I've had an amazing response from the community, and it's just kind of taken off.
And how does the process work with donations and people receiving them?
There's 3 different ways people help. Some people just drop off canned and dried goods, and we distribute them to the families in need. Some people will bring us grocery cards. Others I will give addresses and names to, and any specific, and they will shop and drop off the items to the people in need that I've provided them with a name and address.
And that's awesome for sure, to be able to help the community. And you said you were inspired by the ninja groups that have been going around. Is that one of the main reasons why you thought, they were working so well with how they did it? Maybe if we do it this way with the donations, it would work out as well.
Yeah, just putting a different spin on it. And I just found that even myself, I was getting quite negative with everything that's going on in the world. So I had to change gears and try to turn it into a positive, and this has been amazing. I've been off work, so I've had time to start this and see it get started, and it's just been amazing to bring people happiness and a little bit of hope. And there's a lot of people struggling right now.
Now on the group, you guys have pictures of all the donations that you've done. What are some of the specific options that you guys would be looking for your donations?
Specific item?
Yes.
Anything really. Right now Michelle Nowsad, a teacher in town, did a food bank drive last night and the night before, and we had an amazing community response. 30 families over the 2 evenings brought food, and so we have quite a few canned and dried foods right now, probably enough to feed at least 5 or 6 families. So what I'll be doing today is having people add refrigerated and freezer items and picking up some of these dried items and dropping them off to families.
And what has been the reaction from some of the families that have received the donation so far?
We've had some pretty excited families. There's one lady with breast cancer and 4 kids, and her husband's working, and she's been bedridden a lot, and so the kids are left to fend for themselves and just play while dad's at work. And they were so grateful and appreciative, and just the joy that brought to both the kids and the mom, it makes it all worth it.
Yes, that's amazing to hear. And if anyone is looking for, maybe they need help and they need a donation, but they don't want to go out and say it that much, is there any way they can contact you to see if they can maybe receive a donation?
Yeah. My phone number is on the You've Been Loved page. People will either message me on Facebook or they will text me on my phone. And I have had families message me and say we could use some extra help right now. And yeah, we take them groceries.
And then once again, you said the group on Facebook name was You've Been Love for everyone who would be looking later on?
Yeah, that's correct. Yep.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Jennifer.
Well, thanks for having me, Desmond.
Thank you.
Stay with us. More primetime local news after the break.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Well, Lloydminster is poised to enter Phase 3 of Saskatchewan's reopening plan, which will allow multiple businesses, including aesthetic shops, to reopen. Eric Bay has more on how one local business is preparing.
I'm joined today by Rayanne Thackeray-Shepherd with Vivid Salon. Rayanne, thank you for taking the time with me today. Now you guys are opening up the aesthetic side of your business here on June 8th, but you've already had the hair salon part open. So can you just tell me how that's been operating so far?
We've definitely upped our cleaning. So between each client, we do a full sanitize of the chair, the cutting chair, and the hair sinks. And so that, and just making sure that every single tool that's been touched, every single bottle of hairspray, every single product that's been touched, everything gets wiped down and sprayed with a disinfectant. And so as far as PPE goes, that's kind of been the biggest change for the staff probably. So everybody wears a mask, the service provider and the client. And we also have to wear an apron that is changed between each client. And we also have the safety goggles. So that's kind of been like the maybe the biggest challenge for the stylists, just getting used to wearing a full like PPE.
And now obviously with the aesthetic side of things opening up on June 8th there, is that going to change, or is it going to pretty much be the same as what you guys have been doing on the hair side?
So for aesthetics, same PPEs for the hair. We have to wear the safety goggles. We have to wear the apron that's changed every client. We have to wear a mask for us and the guest. And so the other thing too with the aesthetic side that's a little bit more of a challenge is some of the services we do, the client can't wear a mask. So we are starting facials back up on the 8th, and also as well as like facial sugaring. So with that, your client can't wear a mask to get the service. So in that case, the service provider wears their mask, their apron, and the shield that comes all over their face.
And now just speaking from the business side of it, obviously you guys have been able to open the hair side for a little bit, but I guess how important is it for Vivid now to be able to start up on the aesthetics, even if it is just, obviously in a PPE kind of state?
Well, I think that for us, part of like just our lives and our livelihood and what we do is to touch people. So I think in any way we can do it, we're going to go for it, but still feeling safe for us and safe for the guest. And so that's the plan. We're going to go forward with PPE. And I think everybody is really excited to get back into it. The staff is really excited. I think everybody's just like ready to go.
Now you guys have been operating for a few weeks now. So are you still seeing a relatively fair amount of foot traffic through your doors?
Like our first 3 weeks with hair is like super jam-packed, and our first 3 weeks with aesthetics is super jam-packed. So I think we'll just like go as hard as we can for 3 weeks, and then hopefully it'll like level off. And like one of the things with wearing the PPE is it's warmer, it's a lot hotter because you have so much extra clothing on. So we're just making sure that the girls have extra time for taking a break, so they can just like take their mask off for a minute. And also that they have extra time just so they can do the extra cleaning in between.
Now with aesthetics opening up again on June 8th, will you see any changes to your operation on that side of things?
Like, I guess with aesthetics, there isn't a giant change for us for cleaning. we already like sprayed, we already disinfected the full chair after every client. We already disinfected the bed after every client. And with aesthetics, we always were a little more concerned, like with disinfecting and sanitizing and sterilizing, because we've always been concerned with like bloodborne pathogens or bacteria or fungus that can live on your skin. And so now it's just like that is still all there. Everything we always did is there. And now we're more concerned with the airborne pathogens. So it's just like, oh, just a new thing that we're learning about and just being more concerned about now. So we were always concerned about, you know, one aspect of the disinfecting. Now we're concerned with a whole nother aspect that.
All right, Rayanne, really appreciate your time here today, and best of luck on Monday.
Well, this past Monday, the Bobcats made their first trade since January 8th. Head coach and general manager Nigel Dubé joins our Evan Kenny to discuss the team's new players.
Joining me today is Lloydminster Bobcats head coach and GM Nigel Dubé. Nigel, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Evan.
Now, Nigel, you guys have been a little bit busy here, starting to pick up even more and more with prospects being signed. The first one since the last time we talked about your guys' prospects was Axel Roseland, goaltender from the U.S. What do you guys see out of him before you signed him?
Oh, he's a big goalie. Again, he's over 6 feet, and just his composure in the net. I had the opportunity before everything kind of shut down. I was actually down at the Minnesota State tournament, and Corey Lonkey, our American scout, had identified him, and had the opportunity to watch him. He played there as a junior too as well, and that's such a prestigious tournament. And you know, to see his composure, his calm and coolness in front of 18,000 people and one of the biggest stages in Minnesota hockey, and just what he did for those 2 years as a starter with that program, you know, something that we were looking to add, and just that size and kind of that Carey Price-like goalie.
And as well, he played at Eden Prairie, which is a very prestigious school in Minnesota. NHL player Casey Middlestat has come out of there, as well as his family, as well as numerous others. Does that sort of give you, you know, I guess a sense of hope, especially with a goaltender like this coming into you guys?
Well, he's a player that's seen, you know, when you talk about just practice, because they don't play as many games in Minnesota quite as up here, but he played the before and after with all that going on. But the shots he's seen every day from the players that he, you know, are the forwards there and the defensemen there. There's a lot of high caliber hockey players, like you said, Evan, and to see those every day and to have to compete against those guys, that's a big part of it, right? He's a player that got better every day, and his growth from his junior year to his senior year, seeing those players, and you know, he's a leader on that team too as well. So we were excited to get in talks with him, you know, and he's committed to Lloydminster, and he wants to be part of the border city here, and I think he's going to do great things for us.
Another goaltender you guys have picked up even more recently, this time via trade with the Chilliwack Chiefs, was Colby Thornton. What do you guys see out of him?
Well, with Kobe, you know, he's over 6 feet tall. He's 6'1", a big goalie, composed goalie. He was a starter as a 17-year-old in Nipawa in the MJHL. Went out as an 18-year-old to BC, and then you know, we worked pretty hard to get him here when things opened up yesterday. So or Monday, I guess. So. Again, just a goalie that saw a lot of rubber in Nipawa as a 17-year-old. His shots per game was up there. And the other part, too, is actually Jordan Wood, who we acquired at the trade deadline with Okotoks. They used to be teammates. So talked to Woody about him, and he's a team-first guy, and he wants the best. He wants the best for his teammates every day, and wants to be part of that family culture, and you know, help each other get better every day. So that was a big part of it. But we're excited for him to come in. Chilliwack got their goalie back. He didn't move on to NCAA like he was supposed to, so created a logjam for them and an opportunity for us.
With Thornton being a 2001 and being, you know, possibly playing in the AJHL for 2 more seasons, does that give you guys excitement?
Well, it does. It does. And I think when you can build that and having Axel as an 18-year-old and a 19-year-old combo, and, with Kobe, it's going to be his third year. So a lot of times you see a 20-year-old goalie that's going to be a third year, but with him playing as a 17-year-old in the MJ, he's going to be a third year, 19-year-old veteran player, which we're going to have a lot of this year. You look at our trades that we made a year ago right now and kind of going through that year of rebuilding. A lot of our 18-year-olds are now 19-year-olds with the 3 years of experience.
Now, your final prospect that you guys have signed is Josh Pepler from Prince Albert, goal scorer. That's the first thing that I noticed. 4 goals in 4 games at the Max tournament. What did you guys notice about him?
Well, just his pop to his skating ability, and I think the quickness. We needed to get quicker in areas, and I think that just helps other guys because he's a guy that we're gonna have hybrid icing this year in the AJHL, so there's gonna be some races for the hash marks, and that was the one thing that popped out to me at the Max. He actually he exposed the other team's D and got to the puck before the other team did, and waved off 3 icings, and they got scoring opportunities off of it. So those are big parts of it. With Peps there, he's quick, he's shifty. I think he's going to be a guy that works down low, and other guys are going to be rewarded because of it. You look at some of our shooters that can find those areas and shoot the puck. I think Josh is a guy that, good old Sass kid that isn't afraid to get his nose dirty and go to those hard areas. And I think there's a lot of upside to him. And you look at another player as an 18-year-old comeback, Jarrett Miller. I think those two can definitely add speed to our roster in different areas, and then also our special teams. Looking at penalty kill, where we can hound pucks down the ice now and be an attack mentality, even shorthanded, just with the speed that we have there.
Well, Nigel, it's always a pleasure having you on. Thanks for sharing some of this info with us.
Anytime, Evan. Appreciate it.
All right, take a look at your 7-day forecast here. We are expecting a lot of rain over the course of the 7 days. 14 degrees on Thursday with that 64% chance of some showers there. 18 degrees on Friday, 25% chance of showers on Friday and Saturday. High of 15 for Saturday, where we could see some showers as well. Possibly that number could change. 67% chance on Sunday, where we could see up to 10, maybe more millimeters of rain on that Sunday. Monday, we go into more showers with a 75% chance, where we could get up to 20 millimeters of rain there. Take a little break on Tuesday there with that high of 15 degrees on Tuesday, where we could get some possible showers as well. Also on Wednesday as well, another 59% chance of some showers, usually averaging around 20 degrees for the daytime high this year, usually averaging around 7. So this week will be fairly cloudy with lots of showers expected. Make sure you have your umbrellas at hand.